It was the spring of my junior year, the kind of break where you're too broke for a resort, but too restless to stay home. Me and my three closest friends, Kevin, Allie, and Seb, packed into my old rig and headed deep into the Colorado backcountry. We weren't looking for a managed campsite with toilets and neighbors. We wanted dispersed camping, just us and the raw, unedited wilderness. We found it near a bone-dry creek bed, miles down a forgotten Forest Service road. The air was thin, the silence was heavy, and there wasn't a single tire track to suggest another human had been there in months. It was the perfect void. We pitched our tents in a casual cluster, maybe 15 feet apart, and spent the evening under a canopy of stars that felt close enough to touch. By 11 p.m., the mountain chill pushed us into our sleeping bags. Now, I'm a notoriously light sleeper. Usually in the woods, every snapping twig or shifting breeze has me wide awake. But that night, it was like I'd been tranquilized. I fell into a heavy, dreamless pit of a sleep, the kind where your body feels like lead. No tossing, no turning, just total, unnerving darkness. I woke up with a jolt, that sudden something is wrong instinct screaming in my chest. I unzipped the tent and stepped out into the crisp morning air, but my brain refused to process what my eyes were seeing. My tent wasn't where I'd pitched it. None of them were. While we slept, someone, or something, had rearranged our entire camp. Our 4 tents were now positioned in a mathematically perfect square. We had been moved nearly 30 feet from our original spots. And in the dead center of this new formation sat a stack of 4 flat stones, balanced precariously on top of one another. A cairn that definitely didn't exist when we went to bed. I yelled for the others. As they crawled out, the same expression of pure, primal confusion washed over them. Here's the part that keeps me up at night. The tents were still staked down perfectly. My sleeping bag was undisturbed. My boots were right where I'd left them at the foot of my mat. My phone was still plugged into its battery pack. We found drag marks in the dirt leading from our old spots, but they stopped 10 feet short of the new square. It was as if something had dragged us halfway, then decided to simply lift the tents, with us inside them, and set them down with surgical precision. All without waking a single one of us. The vibe had shifted. It wasn't just fear, it was a strange, psychic heaviness. Allie whispered that she'd had a vivid dream of being led through a desert by a voice that was counting her heartbeats. Kevin turned white. He'd dreamt he was marching in an endless line of silent soldiers. I hadn't dreamt at all, but I could feel their terror as if it were my own. It felt like a 5th presence was standing right there with us, invisible but tethered to our minds. In the frantic rush to understand, Kevin accidentally nudged the center stone stack. It toppled. The second those stones hit the dirt, a sound erupted from the mountain. A low, rhythmic rumbling that felt like tectonic plates or a massive stone vault door being forced open deep underground. The sound acted like a starter pistol. We didn't talk, we didn't plan, we just moved. We tore those tents down and threw our gear into the truck in a blind, adrenaline-fueled panic. I've never seen a group of people move that fast. We were out of that clearing in under 5 minutes, the tires throwing gravel as we fled that hollow. That was 5 years ago. We're all in different states now, Denver, Cali, Chicago. We still text, but we never, ever bring up that trip. It's like we're all collectively trying to keep it as a fever dream rather than a reality. Because if it was real, it means that for a few hours, we weren't just campers. We were pieces in someone else's game. And I still wonder, if we hadn't left right then, what would the next formation have been?